we get to showcase excellent institutions as part of my role as host of This Old House, which is hosted by Kevin O'Connor. Kevin O'Connor has been the cool, collected face for millions of homeowners, helping them navigate the hectic, dusty, and gratifying world of remodeling a historic property. He has been assisting them in transforming their confusion into clarity for more than 20 years and counting. He even made home remodeling appear more approachable and less scary. But lately, there have been a lot of speculations about these. Fans began to question whether Kevin was going to end this phase of his life after years of steadiness. Was there more going on behind the scenes, or was he truly leaving the show he helped create? Let's investigate. Early years, upbringing, and schooling. Kevin O'Connor was born and reared in Maplewood, New Jersey, in a home with 7 kids, 4 brothers and 2 sisters. From a young age, Kevin and his siblings would frequently labor on their father's site because he was a civil engineer. Young Kevin, in contrast to most kids, would frequently find himself surrounded by boards, tools, sawdust, and the incessant buzz of building. He even helped his father with his projects over the years, aiding with woodworking and other things. His early encounters with physical labor and the built world sowed the seeds of comfort. Growing up, Kevin and his siblings constructed something similar to how many children construct forts, albeit occasionally they utilized actual plywood and 2x4s that they scavenged from construction sites. According to him, it felt more natural to work with his hands, create, tinker, and be around beams and tools than it did to sit behind a desk. As he grew older, that hands-on experience remained. In fact, he continued to work in construction over the summer during his time in college, frequently through his father's projects, in order to make money and maintain his enthusiasm for building. Kevin had a strong academic trajectory in school. He received his diploma from Newark, New Jersey's St. Benedict's Preparatory School in 1986. He attended Worcester, Massachusetts' College of the Holy Cross after high school, majoring in history and graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in 1990. He later pursued graduate work at Boston University, where he obtained an MBA in 1999 in an effort to integrate his interests in strategy and business. Kevin's early career went a financial path, contrary to what many may expect from someone who is passionate about homes starting out in the trades. He worked in the sports finance division at Fleet Bank after completing his MBA. Later, he relocated to Bank of America, where he became a senior vice president after joining the commercial real estate division. It may seem strange when we consider the route Kevin had taken. Consider a history major who went on to work as a financial executive before becoming a TV host. That is quite peculiar. However, his disposition, which blends his aptitude for analysis with a sincere passion for houses and hands-on labor, enabled him to create a unique link between masonry and wealth. Kevin admitted that the perspective he had as a result of the business training enabled him to ask the proper questions during interviews. Additionally, he claimed that the same training improved his ability to communicate properly and strategically organize his work. When he eventually entered the remodeling TV industry, all of the abilities he had acquired during his business school came in quite handy. To put it briefly, Kevin grew up surrounded by the noise of construction. His early career established his reputation in business, and his education was demanding. It all worked together to get him ready for his sudden ascent to fame on television. Access to television via this historic home. It took some time for Kevin to go from being a finance professional to becoming one of the most adored TV personalities. An elementary school letter and a wallpaper issue made it all possible. When Kevin and his wife Kathleen bought a Queen Anne Victorian house from 1894 north of Boston in 2002, it all started. It was a quintessential fixer-upper. It arrived with a list of things we couldn't figure out on our own, as he has stated in interviews. The pair took on a lot of work on their own, but eventually they encountered a problem. They were unable to remove the old wallpaper in layers. Around the same period, Ask This Old House, a This Old House spin-off, was getting started. They chose to write to the This Old House staff to request assistance in removing their wallpaper, since they were unable to handle the problem on their own. Fortunately, the program reacted. A few weeks later, under the guise of Ask This Old House, a house call crew, which included general contractor Tom Silva and painting contractor Jim Clark, arrived to Kevin's house with cameras. The crew assisted Kevin and Kathleen in removing wallpaper, refinishing the walls, and providing guidance during episode 22 of season 1. Kevin's first on-camera part for the This Old House series was that appearance. But you might question what made this small remodeling project such a significant turning point in Kevin's life. Well, it wasn't simply the renovations that made that moment crucial. Kevin's exchange was captured on camera. Kevin asked a lot of questions when he was on camera, and the filmmakers were impressed by his interest and comfort level with the trade specialists. Has described the arrival of Jim Clark and Tom Silva in Irish Boston. Kevin established a rapport right away, asked insightful questions, followed directions, and enthusiastically participated in the task. What the remodeling show needed most was Kevin's genuine curiosity and genuineness. After just 1 month, Kevin received a call from the show's producers asking if he would be interested in hosting this historic home. At first, Kevin assumed it was a temporary offer and that he might host for a little while before going back to work in finance. In anticipation that he could return after the hosting stint, he even went so far as to urge his manager at Bank of America to keep his job available. However, the offer remained open after Kevin's outstanding hosting performance, and he accepted as he truly enjoyed hosting. But Kevin didn't simply move into an empty chair. Behind the scenes, Steve Thomas, the previous presenter of This Old House from 1989 to 2003, was getting ready to leave. Kevin's on-camera appearance during the Ask This Old House episode provided the producers with a contender for Thomas's successor, who they had been discreetly evaluating. Kevin formally became the third host in This Old House history in April 2003 when he was 34 years old. The premiere of season 25 marked his debut. At that point, what had appeared to be a homeowner's appeal for assistance had turned into a huge career turnaround. It's no easy task to replace a long-serving host in a popular TV program. The names Bob Vila, the original presenter who hosted the show from 1979 to 198,189, and Steve Thomas, who hosted it from 1989 to 2003, have come to be associated by viewers with this ancient mansion. In addition to taking over as host, Kevin's job was to maintain the show's tradition while adding his own touch. Comparisons to his predecessors were unavoidable in the criticism and interviews of the time. Some viewers questioned whether a show based on trade knowledge could be followed by a former banker. Kevin, on the other hand, positioned himself as an astute homeowner rather than a skilled craftsman and leaned into his approach with new eyes. An early indication that the decision had resonance was the fact that he performed so well that he was nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Service Show Host during his first season. He gradually gained credibility on camera, improved his ability to interrogate tradespeople, expanded his own expertise, and gained confidence in project management. He referred to his position as a 24-hour tutorial, presumably for both the homeowners in the shows and the spectators. He didn't initially act as though he was an expert in every field. Rather, he was the inquisitive and devoted host. Kevin is more than just the face on film when it comes to the This Old House brand. In addition, he is the host of Ask This Old House, which is how he first appeared on television and in This Old House. In addition to his work on television, Kevin is a member of the editorial board of This Old House magazine, where he collaborates on the direction and content of the brand. He then accomplished more incredible feats that he had before doubted his ability to accomplish. Like his debut book, The Best Homes from This Old House, which was released in September 2011, the book gives readers a greater understanding of architecture, renovation difficulties, and aesthetic choices, while highlighting notable homes that have been featured on the show throughout the years. But Kevin was certain to draw some criticism because of his immense success. After all, there is pressure to perform in a performance with decades of history. Kevin was criticized for not being able to replace Steve. Kevin, however, accepted that challenge head-on. Rather, he embraced his role as a student and made use of his communication skills, interest, and strengths. Fans witnessed him demand respect from contractors, become fluent in trade language, and make significant contributions to the projects he managed over time. Aside from the critics, Kevin also struggled with identity balancing. Kevin had a background in finance rather than construction. In a world of sawdust, building, plumbing, and antique materials, he had to demonstrate that he belonged. He progressively developed from a new homeowner to an experienced novice, picking up trade techniques and posing more intelligent queries. He once stated that questioning how and why, rather than just what, is being done has been one of the biggest changes in his methodology. He delved deeply to comprehend the techniques, resources, and decisions made during questioning. Although it was a hazardous move, it was worthwhile. Audiences are drawn to Kevin's genuineness, relatability, and eagerness to learn. He was also able to make decisions about renovation projects based on cost, schedule, value, and bridging the gap between technical trades and average homeowners thanks to his business expertise. The tale of Kevin O'Connor's foray into television is one of those that seems both fortunate and inevitable. He made a request as a regular homeowner, and that request turned into his audition. Producers soon realized he had a unique quality. His honest interest in homes, communication skills, and genuine inquiry. The small idea of temporarily hosting quickly expanded into a purpose that would last a lifetime. Instead of following in the footsteps of his forebears, he entered this historic home with his own voice, that of a focused student standing side by side with professionals in the field. He developed into more than just a host over time, leading Ask This Old House, serving on the editorial board of the magazine, and penning his own book, Career, Influence, Milestones, and Achievements. He became an integral element of the show. We must first delve deeply into the rich history of This Old House before delving deeply into Kevin's profession. As everyone is aware, the show debuted in 1979 and has managed to establish a reputation for authenticity, depth, and expert craftsmanship throughout the years. Now, under Kevin's more than 20-year tenure, this historic home has not only upheld that tradition, but also expanded in scope and aspirations. Kevin is now the show's longest-serving host, so it's no small accomplishment. Since taking over in 2003, he has continued to do so. Under his direction, This Old House has grown from a television program to a multi-platform brand for home enthusiasts. Through its TV shows, magazines, digital platforms, streaming, podcasts, and live events, it now reaches millions of people every month. The show's reach has grown thanks to sister projects and spin-offs. In addition to This Old House, Kevin is the host of Ask This Old House, which started out as a platform for homeowners to get direct assistance and featured Kevin's first on-camera appearance. Though it has embraced modern technologies and produced more in-depth content in recent years, the show has managed to stay contemporary without losing its roots. In interviews, Kevin typically discusses how the show's primary goal of assisting actual homeowners with their renovations has not changed despite modernizations to their filming approach, speed, and even delivery. Most people have been unable to deny the show's influence, especially considering how many accolades it has garnered. As of 2022, This Old Mansion and all of its affiliated shows have won 20 Emmys out of 117 nominations. This historic home received a Lifetime Achievement Emmy in April 2022. It wasn't just a one-season honor, it was for decades of steady service. The show's prize at the 49th Daytime Emmy ceremony, held on June 18, 2022, was presented as a tribute to the numerous hands Kevin, Tom Silva, Norm Abram, Steve Thomas, and others that helped establish its legitimacy over time. Additionally, This Old House has been nominated for Emmys in lifestyle, instructional, and how-to programs in recent years. Kevin's sensitivity to the viewpoint of the audience was one of the things that truly made him stand out, not even his flawless knowledge of every trade. Kevin frequently referred to his position as the homeowner's spokesperson. He frequently claimed to be the stand-in for the queries the crowd had, but was unable to pose. He acknowledged early in his tenure on the show that he began as a novice, but has since developed into a seasoned novice with increasing trade expertise who continues to ask insightful questions rather than acting as though he knows everything. Because he doesn't try to outdo the tradespeople, but rather interpret their work into a language that the average homeowner can comprehend, his hosting style is accessible. Earlier in his career, he wondered what was happening, but now he pressed on how and why. He revealed in Questroom magazine. Kevin also doesn't hesitate to get his hands filthy. He continues to take part in the work, goes on job site walks with contractors, and gains knowledge from them. Because it demonstrates to the trades that he is more than just a figurehead, his presence fosters trust. Additionally, he values specialization, teamwork, and storytelling. He looks for a deeper story by posing queries such why choices are taken, how transactions are coordinated, and what obstacles arise, rather than just putting on a show about dramatic change. He also supports the notion that tradespeople and contractors ought to be treated as experts. Kevin's impact extends beyond his appearance on television. He frequently speaks, appears on podcasts, and participates in interviews. He was featured in the 200th episode of the Modern Craftsman podcast in 2023, for instance. He discussed his life, his numerous endeavors, and the ways in which his perspectives have changed in this podcast. Kevin also talks to the media about his professional path and how he went from working as a banker to hosting a TV show about house renovations. In order to film a segment and consider trade education, he returned to Williamson Institution of the Trades, a vocational and trade institution, in 2024. His visit demonstrated his enthusiasm for developing the next generation of talented workers. Kevin was named the keynote speaker at the International Boat Builder Exhibition and Conference in August 2025, noting his background in both business and renovation media. His reputation as someone who enjoys bridging trade, media, education, and community has been strengthened by all of his public appearances that have taken place over the years. Of course, there is some friction associated with such a level of expansion. There was doubt from the start when Steve Thomas was replaced by Kevin in 2003. Critics questioned whether Kevin could truly command authority, integrity, or authenticity because he was not a trained tradesman. But over time, Kevin gained a lot of admirers and even detractors because to his consistent efforts and sincere inquiry. As Kevin gets older and the show changes, there has been conjecture in recent years about whether he might retire or take on new responsibilities. When fans examine shifts in credits, shootings, or social media silence, these rumors occasionally come to light online. Furthermore, some have claimed that the media landscape is ever-changing. We now have streaming, online video, brief social clips, podcasts, and digital subscriptions, all of which require adaptation, so traditional broadcasting is no longer the only option. Additionally, Kevin and This Old House have had to change course over time, reconsidering pacing, adapting episodes for internet viewing, and striking a balance between depth and shorter attention spans. These demands are genuine and persistent, stemming from shifting audience expectations, platform modifications, and internal longevity decisions. Consequently, there have been numerous reports that Kevin would soon have to resign from his position as host of the show. It hasn't altered the reality, though, that accessibility is among Kevin's greatest gifts. Additionally, his TV appearance has helped many do-it-yourself homeowners understand the trades. Masonry, HVAC, plumbing, and framing are no longer mysterious fields thanks to Kevin. Rather, curiosity and lucid explanations have made them comprehensible. These days, viewers have more confidence to take on projects, pose inquiries, and interact with contractors. On the contractor's side, though, Kevin has consistently received appreciation from numerous tradespeople for serving as a bridge for them. They regard him as someone who respects their profession, offers them a voice, and assists them in showcasing their work to a wider audience. This historic mansion under Kevin's leadership has endured as a cultural icon in home remodeling media over time. Kevin O'Connor's career is a multi-layered tale of metamorphosis, from banker to TV host, from inexperienced to knowledgeable interviewer, and from show star to brand steward. This ancient home has not only endured, but has expanded in significance, reach, and impact during his tenure. The show's Lifetime Achievement Emmy in 2022 is both a significant milestone and an indication that the industry values the show's continued excellence and versatility in addition to its longevity. The moment of breaking news. This ancient house has been synonymous with Kevin O'Connor over the past few years, and because Kevin has been presenting it for more than 20 years, it has also become the most popular PBS home renovation series. But lately, there has been a lot of conjecture among fans that Kevin's tenure on the show is gradually coming to an end. It all began when a series of videos on YouTube regarding his departure went viral. As was to be expected, these movies were full of attention-grabbing titles and thumbnail captions that effectively piqued viewers' interest and even caused them to fear. After all, Kevin was an integral element of the show's personality, and not just another host. Soon, the rumors spread from murmurs on the internet to heated discussions on sites like Reddit and YouTube. Subtle changes in recent episodes, like changed camera angles, more guest experts, and a little less screen time for Kevin, were cited by several fans as potential indicators that something was changing behind the scenes. Others questioned if Kevin was prepared for a new chapter after more than 2 decades of consistent hosting. The growing interest got to the point where supporters demanded direct answers from him. He finally provided them with the answers. Kevin addressed the rumors head-on in a recent video. Kevin's tone in this video is significantly different from the defensive, contemptuous tone that people expected of him. Instead, it is calm and genuine. Throughout the video, he made it apparent that he would not be leaving the program anytime soon. He added that he understands his supporters' concerns and that they had the right to pose such inquiries. He won't be leaving the program, though. People understood from his words that he merely wished to correct the record and put an end to the drama. Kevin even talked candidly about his time on the show and implied that there are no urgent plans to leave, even if change is a necessary part of any long career. Many anxious fans were reassured by it, but some couldn't help but question whether he was setting the stage for a slow change. The program has previously weathered changes, such as when Steve Thomas replaced Bob Vila. Additionally, Kevin took over as the show's face with ease once Thomas resigned. While updating its voice for a new era, the team has consistently been able to maintain the essence of this historic home. But the issue still stands. Would today's changeover have the same seamless outcome? Kevin's video became viral once it was uploaded, and the responses were heartfelt. To show their relief, thousands of followers took to the internet. Others read between the lines, speculating that his statements were carefully chosen, attempt to warn audiences for coming change without confirming it too soon. Some posted sympathetic comments, such as, "Thank goodness, he's still here," and "I can't imagine this old house without Kevin." Users on Reddit discussed if the network might be secretly preparing his successor. They pointed out that younger crafters have been highlighted and given more screen time in some episodes, which suggests that they are the ones the show is developing. But instead of letting the rumors get out of control, Kevin skillfully handled the situation head-on and made the effort to calmly and honestly reclaim the story. This did not, however, stop people from continuing to debate the various options that his remarks raised. Any change in his role, whether it be taking a back seat or sharing the screen, would probably happen gradually to give viewers time to get used to it. In this way, Kevin's breaking news story was more about evolution than departure. Fans of Old House can relax for the time being. Kevin O'Connor is not leaving. He is merely admitting that even the most reliable hands sometimes take a moment to consider what lies ahead after more than 20 years in the spotlight. The legacy he has left behind is undoubtedly here to stay, even though no one can predict with certainty when that next will occur. Background and wider relevance. There is more to this historic house than just a TV program. It is an institution of culture. Since its launch in 1979, it has influenced American perceptions of homes, do-it-yourself projects, and the idea that renovation is both a craft and a project. The program is currently at a crossroads, challenged to change, yet anchored by its past as decades go by and media habits change. This antique house helped popularize home improvement television from the very first episodes. It provided a slower, more systematic, and highly instructive approach prior to the era of cable makeover shows. In addition to witnessing changes, homeowners across watched to understand the rationale behind choices, the selection of materials, the operation of heating and plumbing systems, and the potential costs of making concessions. That authenticity and discipline eventually become the show's defining characteristics. The program endured and flourished for many years. It gained the audience's profound trust. Additionally, viewers are not treated as passive consumers in the show. Rather, it views them as active collaborators. That relationship is demonstrated by the fact that This Old House has been broadcast constantly since 1979, with over 1,100 episodes to date. The brand grew over time. It began as a magazine in 1995 and then expanded to a website containing archival information and, more recently, a strong social media presence. Through its TV, digital, print, and social media platforms, it now provides monthly services to over 20 million people. Because of its wide range of channels, the show is attempting to take the lead in the home remodeling media sector rather than just surviving broadcast shifts. In what ways has this ancient home evolved over time? The format was straightforward in its early seasons, weekly episodes that track progress, one house, and a staff. Presentations changed along with technology. High-definition footage, improved cinematography, drones, more dynamic editing, and more storytelling were all introduced in the show. Additionally, the show embraced digital innovations by producing webcams on project sites, lessons, archives, blogs, and social media content. Additionally, it has a social media strategy that reaches young people where they are. There has always been pressure on legacy TV hosts to change or risk falling behind. Additionally, streaming has emerged as the most effective strategy for attracting younger audiences in a world where broadcast viewing is dropping. And Kevin knew that. However, the older, devoted audience, many of whom have been watching This Old House for decades, expected continuity, depth, and pacing, which led to tension. They like thorough justifications, commercial knowledge, and cultivated trust. Younger do-it-yourselfers, on the other hand, frequently desire quick edits, reels, quick advice, and mobile-first material. One of the main challenges is bridging those expectations. As a result, veteran hosts like Kevin O'Connor have to strike a balance between attracting new viewers and catering to the established audience. This explains why Kevin frequently appeared on podcasts, in media interviews, and as a guest. This type of continuity is modeled by this antique house. The show has maintained its core throughout its evolution, from Bob Vila to Steve Thomas to Kevin. At its heart are its values of respect for homeowners, trade craftsmanship, and academic integrity, with a magazine, internet content, and a community that provides its structure independently of any one individual. The brand also goes beyond television. If Kevin eventually withdraws, that institutional strength will be helpful. The show describes itself as a multi-platform home enthusiast brand that serves fans through a variety of media, according to its news page. Similar lessons can be found in other professions. Long-running show hosts or news anchors frequently prepare for transitional seasons, pre-announced retirements, or handoffs to hosts of the future. For example, late-night television programs have switched hosts, such as The Tonight Show, which has received mixed reviews from viewers. When the departing host remains in a limited capacity to guide or support the successor, transitions are frequently more seamless. That route preserves spectator confidence and a link between times. Now, what's actually at risk? Audience loyalty comes first. Longtime viewers may stop watching if they feel confused or alienated. Sponsors, underwriters, and advertisers frequently place bets on reliable programs with steady viewership. That confidence could be shaken by a significant change. Brand credibility is brittle for a program like Old House that depends on partnerships and underwriting. The second is that the trades community is important. This historic house is seen as a signal and a partner by contractors, artisans, and suppliers, many of whom have collaborated with the show or have been influenced by it in the business. Any change in tone or hosting could cause tension in such relationships or change how tradespeople see working together on televised projects. Lastly, while there is a real chance of change, there is also a real risk. Younger viewers can be drawn to a new or shared host model. New formats, platforms, and voices could provide vitality. The brand may enhance interactive content, radio, podcasts, and longer-form digital storytelling. Change can be transformed from a decline into a renewal if it is handled properly. For the time being, this historic home maintains a careful equilibrium between its roots and its modernization. What do you think then? Are the claims merely another online frenzy? Or is Kevin O'Connor actually getting ready to bid this old house farewell? Please share your opinions in the comments section. For more stories about your favorite TV hosts and series, please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you liked this video. Watch the other videos on your screen before you leave.